Hey, good morning. So I wanted to do a little bit of riding in the rain. Over the course of the next hour, it's 60% chance of rain, but it has been raining pretty much in the ballpark of like 34, 35 hours pretty much straight. There's been a couple hours here or there where it's subsided. But so we have really, really wet conditions with a light drizzle and the possibility of it increasing as we're out riding. So, just because it is a little bit more risky with slippery roads, I did wear my armored jeans with waterproof pants underneath, and I'm gonna wear my full face helmet with my kind of like sport bike riding gloves. I guess they call them tactical because it has like the carbon fiber knuckles and stuff like that. That's funny. This keeps falling out of my helmet. I don't know if that's a sign that it's time for a new helmet or not. All right, you guys. So there's Big Red Betsy's already warmed up. Let me try to put this earpiece back in, and got my coffee. Ah, it's good. Okay, you guys, let's go. Say goodbye to Ozzy. Okay, the only thing that I really hate about riding in the rain is how dirty it gets your motorcycle. But if it's already dirty, who cares, right? Okay. Give Ozzy his little treat. Up. Down. Good boy. And we be out of here. Oh, wait. Keys. Keys are kind of important, right? I forgot to give it like that 3 seconds to make sure that that little noise goes off. All right. I love the rain. I love the sound of it. I love what it does for the plants and the trees and everything. I love the after effect. It makes the air so fresh and clean. Okay, so we're off. Okay, so right here, I got a big hill to go up. So obviously, when you have wet roads, going up big hills and going down big hills, you have gravity to contend with. So I think my motorcycle, fully loaded with fluids, is approximately 850 pounds. I weigh about 165. So you got 1,000 pounds with momentum. And then if you add gravity into the mix on a steep hill, you got to kind of be a little bit more careful going up steep hills and going down steep hills. And it's kind of nice because I live around some steep hills, so I have the opportunity to to drive down, up and down some of these hills in wet roads to kind of use that as an example. So it's very, very light drizzle right now. You can see some of the rain drizzle drops on the camera lens. Okay, so right here we have a nice S-turn. Right, and then left. So obviously, you don't want to go flying through that just like the roads are dry. Okay, now we have two big hills. We have this big hill and then a little flat section for a cross street and then another steep hill. So just like I said, with 1,000 pounds and momentum and gravity and wet slick roads, that's just a place to be a little bit more careful. So we're gonna go for about 3 or 4 more blocks down this street before I turn right on a little residential street that'll take us to Century Motorcycles. And what I love about this place is it reminds me of a shop that I used to go into on Washington Boulevard. It was a Suzuki dealership, but they had a large supply of used motorcycles. So I take this turn a little bit slower, probably than I would. And you'll hear I'm going up in RPMs right now, but then I just relax on the gas and just coast towards the stop sign because, once again, you know, stopping and starting, you just want a little bit more time, a little bit more ease to those. So this shop reminds me of that old shop I used to go into as a teenager, and I loved looking at old motorcycles because that's all I could afford. So here's Century Motorcycles. This place was established in 1953.
Let's go in this motorcycle shop. This is Century Motorcycles, and they've been here since 1953. They do service.
And I'd say about 85-90% of the bikes in here
wide
are
selection
classics.
of old, used motorcycles.
You have some motorcycles that are 2 or 3 years old or 5 years old.
One of my love affairs is old British motorcycles.
But the majority are,
they got a lot of
like
BSAs,
30, 40 years old.
Triumphs, the old school shit from the 60s and 70s.
I show you this one Indian in here that's just really old.
So let's mosey on in there and see what we can see. Morning, Tim. Do you mind if I video and some of your motorcycles?
Who are you?
You worked on my Harley.
What is the fax number for race day?
Okay. So here you have a lot of Kawasaki's, but you can see, look at this old Indian. That is cool with the suicide shift. That's probably circa 1940s. This old Scrambler, Triumph Scrambler. Look at that old Indian. Off-road, kind of, no, not really off-road, but just more like a Triumph. Never saw an Indian like that. And then you got the Vincent over here. Got a lot of Vincents. Oh, look, you got a new Ducati Scrambler. Nice hybrid BMW for just 3,300. Ooh. Some nice old photos. Old Henderson tanks. Wow. I'm just giving you free advertisement for a YouTube video on all the cool motorcycles you have in here. Ooh.
Who are you?
My name is Sheldon.
Hey, how's it going, Sheldon? Nice to see you.
Thanks, Tim. Look at that. Wow, someone refurbished this, Vincent, nicely.
Century Motorcycles.
Oh, you guys did all that?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Nice to see you, Sheldon.
Good to see you.
Sorry for the clutter.
Oh, no, not at all. It's raining outside.
Yeah, I didn't want to put people's bikes outside. So.
Yeah. I just love your shop. You know, when I'm at work punching the keyboard all day long, I daydream that I could have your job.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna retire in a few years, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. And I sometimes daydream about starting up something like this, but I wouldn't want to give you competition.
No, Sheldon, the more the better. It's that's what my grandfather used to say.
Would you ever need a salesman?
I would.
Okay, because I've been riding since I was 16. I know a lot about motorcycles, and I love just being around them, talking about them, looking at them.
That's good. That's a perfect position for you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really good. That's what people want. Somebody with experience and knowledge.
And I thought about like going to Harley and trying to sell, be a salesman at Harley, but God, with some of the stuff I'm reading, who knows if they're gonna still have their shops open in a few years from now.
Oh, they should be around for another 100 years.
Yeah.
It's a great company.
And even if they totally buckled, you'd still have shops selling Harleys.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, gosh, look at that beauty. That's a Road King?
It is. It's a 04 Road King with 11,000 miles for 10,500.
11,000 miles for $10,000. Whew.
Very good price. Runs great.
You guys, if you're ever in San Pedro, come check out Century Motorcycles. Been here since 1953. Tim is the owner, and just a wonderful guy. And he's here to help. They got service in the back, and they got all this great selection of motorcycles. They even got the old school mobile gas, and you got the smell of oil. You got the cool old pictures about the history of motorcycles. So come check it out.
Okay, that was a nice visit to Tim's Century Motorcycles. Let's go home.
Okay, so what I wanted to show just now is you can pretty much drive normal on wet streets if you got good tires. So even though it's really wet, you saw I was able to kind of take it through the gears pretty quickly and go into some high RPMs without even losing traction. And it's really not that big a deal if you do lose a little bit of traction when you're starting to gun in, like first or second gear. It'll slide a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, and you just let off the gas and it comes right back. But it's good to just get that experience under your belt a few times so that when you do get caught in the rain and that little bit of slippage happens, you don't panic. So, hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day.